Good morning, I'm Abheudaya Shrrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. Draft of the monetary policy for the fiscal year 2081-82 prepared. Nepal Rashtra Bank to unveil the monetary policy today after the Board of Directors passes the draft. CPN-UML indicates of being flexible to conclude transitional justice while leading the government. Law Minister says bill will be moved forward after top brass leaders, including the Prime Minister, hold discussion. Anti-quota protest continues in Dhaka, Bangladesh. 13 people died in clashes with police yesterday. Hundreds more injured. Death toll reaches at least 19 this week. And Nepal suffered defeat against Sri Lanka 3-1 in their opening match of the Kava Under-20 Women's Volleyball Championship, to clash against Kyrgyzstan tonight at 9:15 p.m. Nepal time. The Nepal Rashtra Bank is set to unveil the monetary policy for the fiscal year 2081-82 today. Although the Central Bank's Management Committee has finalized the draft of the policy, it is yet to be passed by the Board of Directors. The Nepal Rashtra Bank has prepared a draft of the monetary policy by including loan expansion for the fiscal year 2081-82, which the Management Committee has already finalized. Today's meeting of the Board of Directors is scheduled to pass the monetary policy. Experts have advised the Nepal Rashtra Bank to focus on production and generating employment opportunities while preparing the monetary policy. Experts who held discussions at a program organized by Rashtriya Swatantra Party in Kathmandu yesterday suggested the central bank to disperse loans to production and employment sectors. They also said that it was not right to release loans to the share market and real estate sectors. Former Executive Director of Nepal Rashtra Bank, Narbahadur Thapa, said that the monetary policy should be centered on employment, which is linked to the country's economy. He also suggested that the monetary policy should focus on the concept of new banks like digital banks and local development banks. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces what should the government do to raise employment opportunities at the local level. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
कृषि फर्महरु ल्याउनु पर्छ
कुनै ठाउँमा अब त्यसो कल कारखानाहरु खोल्न पाए प्राविधिक शिक्षालाई जोड दिई सिपमूलक तालिम सञ्चालन गर्दिनु पर्यो
डेरी जस्ता किनकि मतलब केही कृषि फार्म किनकि खोल्दिएपछि त हाम्रो पनि किनकि रोजगारी हुनु होला केही
मिलाई गाउँपालिकाले एउटा सिपमूलक उद्योग धन्दाहरु खोल्दिनु पर्यो चलाइदिनु पर्यो भन्नु
के कारखाना खोलेपछि मिल्छ कि केही न केही गरेको मिल्छ कि
साना घरेलु किसान उद्योगहरु उद्यमीहरु छन् तिनीहरुलाई चाहिँ प्रोत्साहन गरेर उनीहरुलाई चाहिँ अगाडि बढ्ने प्रेरणा गर्नुपर्छ
सरकारले घरेलु उद्योगहरुलाई सञ्चालन गर्ने खालका कार्यक्रमहरु ल्याउँदा राम्रो हुन्थ्यो
बिरगतको चिनी मिल खोलाउनु पर्छ फ्याक्ट्रीहरु सबै खोलाउनु पर्छ
तालिमकर्ताहरुले त्यसलाई चाहिँ रोजगारीमा परिणत गरिरहेछ कि छैन त्यो पनि त हेर्नु पर्यो
सिपहरु स्कुल कलेजमा सिकाइदिनु पर्यो
सरकारले के गर्नु पर्यो कि वन कल कारखानाहरुलाई सञ्चालनमा ल्याउनु पर्यो
ठूला उद्योगहरु सञ्चालन पनि गर्नुपर्छ जसले गर्दा चाहिँ यसले दिगोपना पनि ल्याउँछ
टेक्निकल कामहरु जस्तै मोबाइल ट्रेडिङ एसी फ्रिजको ट्रेडिङ हैन अनि प्लम्बरको ट्रेडिङ दिने
रोजगार सृजना गर्नको लागि सरकार पक्ष र निजी क्षेत्र दुवै लाग्नुपर्छ
Alleging Nepali Congress and CPN Maoist Center of proceeding on the remaining works of the peace process by leaving them out, CPN-UML had been expressing grievances in the past. However, CPN-UML is now in the government leadership and soldiers the responsibility of transitional justice, which has remained ignored for the past 17 years. The topic has grown complicated as the parties have ignored the issue and prioritized their political interests, and has also become a factor which creates complications for the government and political parties at national and international forums. The amendment bill related to transitional justice has remained stranded at the Law Committee. The parties had claimed of nearing final conclusion on the issue earlier this year, but the process was halted as the government changed immediately. Topics related to the peace process have suffered massively because of political turmoil. Instead of being victim-focused, the issue has become party-focused. When CPN Maoist Center Chair Pushpakamal Dahal was leading the government, he had formed a task force of leaders of 3 parties after holding talks with current Prime Minister and CPN-UML Chair KP Sharma Oli and Nepali Congress President Shrrestha Deuba. One round of meeting had taken place, but the government has since changed yet again. Dispute persists on topics related to the nature of incidents of serious violation of human rights and actions to be taken in the case of absence of consensus. CPN-UML is trying to include the issue of the use of children in the militia as well, which has now grown contentious. As political parties have been changing their stances when in and out of power, their intentions on addressing or further complicating the issue are difficult to be understood. As CPN-UML is leading the government, the party has hinted towards generating consensus on disputed issues and taking the amendment to the parliament. Nepali Congress and CPN Maoist Center appear to be on the same page regarding the bill, but are at sharp contrast on issues raised by CPN-UML. Nepali Congress is still in favor of concluding transitional justice on the basis of agreement. Despite the government being led by CPN-UML, the Ministry of Law is being led by Nepali Congress. The major responsibility of generating consensus on the issues of transitional justice is shouldered by the Ministry of Law, which has said that the bill would be concluded by holding discussions with senior leaders of the three major political parties. As the laws have yet to be amended, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and the Commission of Investigation on Enforced Disappeared Persons have remained without officials for the past 2 years. Despite the formation of a committee chaired by former Chief Justice Om Prakash Mishra for the appointment of officials, works have not moved forward as the Nepal Human Rights Commission has not recommended members. While politicizing this issue inside the country, the governments have been compelled to stay quiet at international forums. 22 bodies of passengers of 2 buses that had gone missing in the Trishuli River last Friday in Simaltal of Bharatpur 29, Chitwan, under the Narangad Mugling Road section have been recovered so far. Recently, 2 bodies were recovered in Nolparasi from the Narani River. A total of 22 bodies, including 20 male and 2 female passengers, have been recovered so far. According to DSP at the District Police Office Chitwan, Bhavesh Rimal, 14 bodies have been identified, while the identity of 5 are yet to be ascertained. Search for the missing passengers has continued today as well at the incident site in Simaltal, Trishuli River and Narani River. A team of more than 500 security personnel from the Nepal Army, Armed Police Force and Nepal Police have been searching for the missing, with the help of sonar cameras, rafting boats, motorboats, divers, and by foot. The 2 buses, along with passengers and bus crew, had been swept away by landslide into the Trishuli River at around 3:30 a.m. last Friday. A total of 65 passengers, including bus crew, were on board the 2 ill-fated buses. 3 of the passengers had jumped out of the bus to save themselves. With search operations to find the 2 buses and passengers missing in the Trishuli River since last week still underway, bodies are being found way far from the site of the incident at several places in the Narani River. Family members and relatives of those missing have been reaching the District Police Office and the morgue of Bharatpur Hospital to see if the found bodies are those of their relatives. After hearing about bodies being found, they rushed to see if they could identify them. However, after knowing that the bodies were not of their relatives, they plunged into further grief. As days pass by, the management of the bodies and their identification have become more complicated. To ease the process of identification of bodies, police have created a group of the families of those missing in the messaging service application WhatsApp. Police have said that identification could be eased as it sends information about the bodies discovered in the group so that the family members can identify the bodies from their home. At least 125 people have died because of monsoon-induced disasters this year. Since 10th of June, monsoon-induced disasters including floods, landslides and inundation have killed 22 people in Koshi province, 38 in Gandaki, 23 in Lumbini, 20 in Bagmati, 7 in Karnali, 8 in Sudur Pashchim and 5 in Madhya province. At least 143 people have been injured. Meanwhile, those missing after the 2 buses were swept away by landslide in Simultal of Chitwan last Friday have not been included in the list of deceased. 222 houses, 43 bridges, 1 school and 2 government offices have suffered damages, while 3,721 families have been displaced by the disasters. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. Why do the 3 tiers of the government compete for the jurisdiction of roads, but the roads remain in poor condition? Your options are A, no clarity on jurisdiction, B, contract interests, and C, pretext not to work. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Following the formation of the government by the 2 largest parties of the parliament, Nepali Congress and CPN-UML, the public is hoping for political stability and development works gaining momentum. Having formulated a strong government, the 2 parties must have made public a common minimum program with a clear idea for the operation of the government and its priorities to address public expectations. However, the 2 parties have not held any talks regarding the operation of the government and its priorities since its formation. The parties in the government themselves do not seem aware about when such common minimum programs would be introduced. Despite being the major player of the CPN Maoist Center Chairperson Pushpa Kamal Dahal-led government, CPN-UML Chairperson and current Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli had expressed critical support on the policies and programs and the budget introduced by the previous government. As Oli is now leading the new government, amendments in the policies and programs and the budget are certain. The common minimum program of the powerful government formed by Nepali Congress and CPN-UML is of interest for all sectors. Despite all decisions and steps of the government being minutely observed, the 2 largest parties of the parliament do not seem to have acknowledged the responsibility of being accountable to the public. They reached an agreement to form the government on 1st of July and form the government on 15th of July. However, discussions have not been held regarding the government's common minimum program. The parties should have made public the common minimum program while forming the government. Based on the situation in which the current government was formed, the public will not be satisfied by mere assurances. Analysts have suggested the government to prioritize tasks by focusing on political stability, ensuring good governance. The government must prioritize quick and transparent service delivery, creation of employment opportunities, putting an end to having to seek jobs abroad, and addressing problems related to the health and education sectors. Despite the 7-point agreement between Nepali Congress and CPN-UML not being made public, leaders will aim to amend the constitution as they have spoken about, for which they will require the support of parties outside the government, which is a major challenge. Reviving the economy is another daunting task. The progress of national pride projects is not satisfactory. Without curbing corruption, good governance cannot be ensured. Another major task of the government is to ensure fair investigation into several scandals. Important laws have yet to be formulated, for which the government has to provide as much business as possible to the parliament. There is a long list of problems of the country that require to be addressed at the earliest. This is also the appropriate time for so, and the government, therefore, can have no excuses. If such a powerful government formed since the establishment of federal democratic republicanism fails, it will shadow all political achievements made so far. Therefore, it is imperative for the government to introduce its common minimum program at the earliest to generate hope among the public and to lead the country in the path of development and prosperity. Saying the Belt and Road Initiative's BRI project put forward by China was in the interest and favor of Nepal, analysts have stressed on the need for making the best use of the program. At a program organized by the Nepal Communist Party led by Netra Bikram Chand, participants said that the BRI project was based on development strategies and its implementation would serve Nepali interests. They said that the BRI stressed on connectivity, development partnership, and friendly cooperation. Members of several communist parties said that the BRI did not include any military component and terms and therefore would serve Nepali interests. At the same program, CPN Maoist Center General Secretary Dev Gurung claimed that efforts to implement the BRI project led to the change in the political equation. After initiated by China in 2013, Nepal signed the BRI in 2017, but it remains to be implemented. It's time now for the international update. A high security alert has been issued for the whole of Bangladesh as violent clashes between students and police continue. BBC's Bengali service has confirmed 19 deaths so far, 13 of them on Thursday. Among the dead was a 32-year-old journalist for the Dhaka Times. The nationwide protests are the biggest since Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina was re-elected to a fourth term in office and are fueled by high unemployment among the youth, with nearly a fifth of the 170 million population out of work or education. Law Minister Anisul Haq said the government was willing to talk to the protesters who want the state to stop setting aside 30% of government jobs for the families of those who fought in the 1971 War of Independence from Pakistan. The students are arguing that the system is discriminatory, asking for recruitment based on merit. Prime Minister Hasina had condemned protesters' death as murder in her television appearance last Wednesday, but her words were largely dismissed by protest organizers who rejected government offers of talks. The capital Dhaka is in the midst of a near-total internet blackout, with phone lines also down. Yesterday evening, several thousand protesters stormed the state broadcaster BTV, vandalizing furniture, smashing windows and lights, and setting parts of it on fire.
Sports news.
Nepal suffered defeat against Sri Lanka 3-1 in their opening match of the Kava Under-20 Women's Volleyball Championship. In the match played in Malé, Maldives last night, Sri Lanka defeated Nepal in 4 sets, 25-20, 24-26, 25-11, 25-18. In the match, Nepal looked very weak in receiving and in defense. In another match played yesterday, Kyrgyzstan defeated hosts Maldives in straight sets. In the tournament involving only 4 teams, Sri Lanka and Kyrgyzstan are at the top of the points table, securing 3 points each, while Nepal and Maldives have yet to earn points. Nepal are scheduled to clash against Kyrgyzstan in their second match tonight at 9:15 p.m. Nepal time. Nepal will face Maldives in their third match tomorrow. The team finishing at the top will face the 4th-ranked team in the semifinals, while the 2nd-ranked team will play against the 3rd-ranked team. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.